Video games are without a doubt an art. It's no easy feat crafting and developing a title, especially a AAA one, and developers over the past few years have really changed the way that we look at and play our games, creating some groundbreaking stories and content that leaves gamers utterly enthralled. Some of these projects take years and years to develop, and these days, it's the status quo to reveal teases and previews of upcoming titles long before they're ready to ship out to stores. So today we're taking a look at some of the titles that we're the most excited about, and offer up a whole lot of promise with our list of the top 10 huge video games without a release date. Kinda sour. And at number 10, Halo Infinite. E3 2018 brought us the promise of a brand new Halo game, titled Halo Infinite, for the Xbox and PC. The game will see the return of Master Chief, and according to devs, despite the fan theories, it's not a prequel, and should be thought of as Halo 6. Developer 343 Industries has noted that the game will solely focus on Master Chief rather than splitting up the narrative like Halo 5 did, taking players' feedback strongly into consideration. We also know that there may be a chance that microtransactions will exist in the game, but how much those will have impact on it overall is unknown. It's also worth noting that the trailer that was shown off at E3, which was rather vague, was revealed to be more of a tech demo for Slipspace, the engine that Halo Infinite will be crafted in. Kinda disappointing. The best guess for when players can expect to see the title released is sometime in 2020 for the next-gen Xbox console. And at number 9, Starfield. Starfield is perhaps one of the most mysterious games on this list. During Bethesda's 2018 E3 presentation, Todd Howard announced that the developers were working on a massive new IP called Starfield, which would be set in space. It's the next game set to be released after Fallout 76. But aside from that, there isn't much to be known about the upcoming title, at least officially that is. We do know that Bethesda has been working on it for a year. The trailer showed us nothing more than the fact that it is set in space. Todd Howard had said that the company has yet to determine what consoles it will be released on, but obviously they will be next generation ones. Now according to the leaks, the game, which was initially rumored to come out in 2019, is likely set for release in 2020. Another leak about the game is that it's set in our real universe, in our solar system, rather than a fictional universe, and that the playable characters will be humans, although alien characters will be present. Another rumor is that there are 4 planets that players can visit, with one of those planets having a map 1.4 times the size of Skyrim's. Speaking of Bethesda and Skyrim, and at number 8, Elder Scrolls 6. Todd Howard also announced at the 2018 E3 that a 6th Elder Scrolls title was going to be released. This is what fans have been waiting for ever since Skyrim. Howard showed off a teaser trailer that provided a look over top of an uninhabited terrain that then set off 1,000 theories as to which unused province in Tamriel the game would be set in. We even did a theory video on it here. I'm still optimistic about Elsewhere, but hey, that's wishful thinking. Unfortunately, it won't be released until after Starfield, and will be a next generation console game, so we've surely got a long wait ahead, with some predicting that we won't see the 6th title in the franchise until closer to 2022. Yikes. And at number 7, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Star Wars games these days are quite tainted by the controversy surrounding what happened with EA and Star Wars Battlefront 2, and all that silly loot box business. Luckily, that's not the be-all end-all for Star Wars fans. Fallen Order was announced a little while back and is slated to come out during the holiday season of 2019. Now aside from that, not much else has been released about the title, not even a trailer. The game will follow the story of a surviving Padawan shortly after the events of Episode 3 Return of the Sith, during a time when all the Jedi are being hunted down. It's a single-player narrative as well. And at number 6, Code Vein. After From Software decided to call it quits on the Dark Souls franchise, Bandai Namco decided that they wouldn't let fans of the series down, and ordered a new IP with similar game mechanics as the notoriously difficult franchise. Enter Code Vein, a game that takes place in a post-apocalyptic world in which consuming blood gives you gifts. In other words, supernatural abilities. It's got a bunch of vampiric elements to it, but much like our last number, a trailer has yet to be released. The game was initially slated to be released in September of 2018, but that was pushed back, clearly. And now devs say that it'll be ready sometime in 2019. And at number 5, Wolfenstein Young Blood. Another big surprise out of Bethesda's 2018 E3 presentation was the announcement of a Wolfenstein sequel, titled Young Blood. Set in the 1980s, 19 years after the events of New Colossus, players take on a different protagonist than BJ Blazkowicz, his twin daughters Jess and Soph. Now that their father has incited the Second American Revolution, they're the next generation of Nazi killers. Single players can choose to play as one of the two, and co-op allows for 2 players to play as both at once, searching for their missing father in Nazi-occupied Paris. A release date has yet to be announced aside from it coming out in 2019, but we do know that this title will also be available for the Nintendo Switch. And at number 4, Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime 4 was teased us at E3 2017, and we don't really know much more other than the fact that it will one day exist. According to Nintendo producer Kensuke Yoshiyuki Tanabe, who is leading the development on the game, the title will, I quote, return to the first-person adventure roots of the original Metroid Prime game, and introduces a new storyline that ties together the events of the Metroid Prime universe and takes the storyline in new directions. Now aside from that, it's official that Retro Studios, the developer of the Metroid Prime trilogy, is not working on the game, and instead it's a new studio, potentially rumored to be Bandai Namco. Since the 2017 announcement, fans have been hopeful that Nintendo would give us a further glimpse at pretty much every single convention and award show since, but so far nothing has come our way yet. And at 3, Death Stranding. Death Stranding is a big old question mark on many fronts. Now for starters, we've gotten a handful of trailers that pose more questions than answers. Developed by Kojima Productions and directed by the legendary Hideo Kojima, the game has a star-studded cast, including Norman Reedus, Mads Mikkelsen, Lea Seydoux, Troy Baker, and even a little cameo from Guillermo del Toro. It's the first game from the company since Kojima parted ways with Konami, and it was announced back at E3 2016. But what is it exactly? Well, it's an action game set in an open world, and it's got a lot of freaky aspects going on. It also looks cool as fuck. Kojima has said that the concept behind the game is the idea of a connection between life and death, playing on the idea of strings and connections and the concept of using string or rope to secure things one finds important. We know that when Reedus' character Sam dies, he's sent to another world, referred to as an upside-down submerged in water-esque world. When you return to the world of the living, the damage caused by what killed you remains persistent in the world and does not go away. There's also rain called Timefall that has the ability to age or deteriorate whatever it hits. All in all, it's pretty mental and intriguing and could end up resulting in one of the best video games of all time. So of course it has no release date, not even an anticipated release year. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. And at number 2, Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk 2077 is the upcoming RPG project from the team that brought you The Witcher, and it's perhaps one of the most hyped titles to date. It's adapted from a tabletop game called Cyberpunk 2020, which came out in 1988. You play as V, a mercenary who is entirely customizable and has entirely malleable character classes in an open world set in the metropolis of Night City, California. It's a massive game that so far has given us a stellar trailer and a solid amount of gameplay, all of which looks stunning. The things you can do in the game are equally as compelling. Aside from combat, the interactions with NPCs provide branching dialogue and romance, with 6 regions for you to explore either on foot or by vehicle. The game is also said to feature full nudity, which the game's director Adam Badowski stated encapsulates the theme of transhumanism. I quote, "The body is no longer sacred, it's profane." Recent rumors based off of listings on Amazon also placed the game's release date to 2030, which seems insane, considering that the download code for the Xbox One also showed up on Amazon as a placeholder on the site that said it was $20.99. Well, we think that's probably just a fluke. Or a joke. Regardless, there is still no release date, but hopefuls are optimistic it will come out in 2019, despite 2020 seemingly more realistic. And kinda cheeky, considering the name of the tabletop it's based on. And finally, in at number 1, The Last of Us Part 2. The follow-up to 2013's The Last of Us has been highly anticipated ever since the first title came out. And fair enough, The Last of Us blew the industry and gamers away with its emotional depth, complex characters, stealth and combat mechanics, and overall world. It won a crap ton of awards to boot, and introduced us to arguably the first mainstream playable LGBT female character. Representation is important, people. Anywho, the game is perhaps one of the most promising, and a PlayStation exclusive. It's set 5 years after the first title, with players controlling an older Ellie, who has been stated to come into conflict with a mysterious cult. From the initial teaser trailer, we know that Ellie harbors some pretty intense feelings about said cult, since she tells Joel while covered in blood playing a guitar that she intends on killing every last one of them. Furthermore, the gameplay footage also boasted a lot of promise, subtly advancing some of the favorite mechanics its predecessor was adored for. No release date has been announced, but based on the presentation of the game at Sony's 2018 E3 press conference, it seems likely that we're looking at a mid to late 2019 release date. Alright, there we have it, friends. What are your predictions for when these games will officially come out? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know what you're thinking. If you dug this video, spread that love, hit the like button. And if you'd like to hang out with us some more, why not click subscribe? We also have a ton of other great gaming videos just waiting for you to watch them. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you all in the next video.